I am clapping right now because guess what? You guys are the people that are taking the first initial step in 2025 to learn about fitness. I am going to be doing this weekly, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Weekly, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Okay, so get comfortable with this. We're going to be doing this and we're going to be tackling this together. So the theme of today is going to be the difference and the benefits, the pros and cons between machines and free weights at the gym. So a little bit about myself for the people who are new here. I've been a personal trainer for more than 13 years. They call me the Booty Doctor. My name is Brian Abarca. I am a personal trainer. I am an online coach, and I am a personal training mentor. I help people build their businesses and scale their businesses. So if you know a personal trainer who wants to make more than $15,000, $20,000 a month, let me help them out. Tag them below, okay? Q&As are going to be at the end. I do want to cover my topics here. So first things first, guys. When you go to the gym, most newbies, most people will be going to the machines. Now, there are pros to machines and there are cons to machines. The pros to machines are they're easy to use and they're beginner friendly. Very self-explanatory, right? Machines are easy to use and beginner friendly. So if you are new to the gym, maybe you don't have enough money for a personal trainer, but you want to start your fitness journey. You go to a machine at the gym. There's usually instructions right next to it with little pictures and things like that. Okay? So you can read it and you could address. However, the bad thing about this, guys, is that no one's holding your hand. No one's gonna support you. So if you fuck it up, no one's gonna support you. So if you guys fuck it up, that's it. You guys fuck up your shoulder, that's it. If you fuck up your, your lower back, that's it. So you guys can't really do much about it. Let me just mute my people here. So that's the bad thing about machines. If you fuck up, no one's gonna save you. However, it is beginner friendly. So going to the gym, and if you're a beginner, machines could be great because they're easy to use and they're beginner friendly. Okay? People who are logging in right now, we're talking about gym machines versus free weights. What are the pros? What are the benefits? And what are the cons? What are the negatives? Another positive about gym machines are they provide support and stability, reducing risk of injury. They provide support and stability. They reduce risk of injury. So usually machines are 9 times out of 10 one-dimensional. One plane of motion. You only push, you only pull, you only push with your legs. Is one-dimensional unless you're playing with cables, of course. There's exceptions. But it's one-dimensional. So that's why it's easier to use. And you reduce the risk of injury. So if the risk of injury is at 100%, okay, you reduce it by like 50%. Okay? It sounds like a lot to some people, and it sounds like shit, it's a coin toss now. But that's a huge bonus. So again, if you're new to the gym, machines could be great. Because again, you could just read the instruction manual and follow the pictures and then go for it, right? And it reduces injury. There are clear guidelines on machines. And the range of motions is what it is. One plane, you push, you pull, you rotate, that's it, and the story. Those are the benefits of machines. Another benefit of machine is that they're adjustable in resistance levels for progression. So you can adjust by pins, you can adjust by plates. They're a little bit more accessible than, racking the dumbbells, grabbing the other dumbbells, and going out of your way. So if you're extremely lazy already, you could easily just be at the machines, at the gym, if you're lazy, if you're a beginner, and it's almost like you don't have to do much except work for the set, and then that's it, and rest. Right? Okay? TikTok's lit right now. Instagram, what's going on? How's my clients going? Well, what's going on? We're here live on Zoom, guys. Hold on. My girl Lisa's here too. Lisa, what's going on, girl? Let's mute you. Shirley, I'm gonna make you host. Lisa, if you can Zoom, mute yourself. So right now we're talking about, Shirley, if you see anyone come on, just help them out and let them join. So we're live on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We're talking about machines versus free weights. What are the benefits? And we already spoke about machines being user-friendly, machines being beginner-friendly. They give support, they give stability, okay? And they're adjustable to resistance. So if you're a little lazy or you're a beginner, you can sit down in a machine, you could do just the pushing motion or the pulling motion for your legs or upper body, or even rotate. JD, what's going on, girl? I'm still waiting for us to go on a call. What's going on? And that's it, okay? But the cons, they're negatives for machines. You're limited on specific movements. So if you are recovering from an injury, and Nahi, what's going on, girl? If you're recovering from an injury and you are not much educated on a machine, you may hurt yourself because you're not still understanding how to use the machine properly. And again, you're not guided. It's pros and cons here. It's less functional. So for example, if you want to just be a little bit more active in your everyday life and you want to be a little bit more efficient, maybe carrying groceries around or putting groceries in the shelf and being a little bit more fluent at home, there's not going to be much machines where you can pick things up, rotate, and put things in the shelf. It's one-dimensional, like I said. Machines, you can only push and pull, and that's it. JD says, hey, yes, I am rescheduling for next week. Let me know if you still need the link, girl. Okay, but I'm here. Q&A is open. Drop your questions, and I could address it. And I'm recording it through Zoom as well, and I could send you the recording personally. All right, we're live on TikTok as well. What's going on, Angela? And on YouTube. So it's not practical for everyday motions, if that makes sense. If you have kids and you want to carry your kids, you're not going to be really carrying your kids one-dimensional. You're going to be moving around with the kid, right? Even if it's a newborn, you're going to be rotating. You're going to use one arm. There's no machine where you could just do this, right? Okay. It can lead to muscle imbalances. That's a key thing. So for example, if you're using a machine, and if you ever thought of the fact that one leg or one arm is stronger than another, I'm sure you guys heard that. Okay, my right leg is stronger than the left, or I'm a righty, so my right arm is stronger than the left. If you are doing a one-dimensional movement, okay, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be using one arm more than the other. So you're not fixing the issue. Does that make sense? What's up, Brittany? If you are one-dimensional, if one arm is stronger or one leg is stronger than the other, you are not fixing the issue if you're moving things one-dimensionally and you're using both arms or both legs. Okay? If you have a hip replacement, if you have a bad knee and you're still pushing on a leg press, you're going to still be using your weaker leg less than your stronger leg. Is that going to fix the issue? No, it's not. Yeah, a great job. You're at the gym. That's good. But are you actually improving your body if you have an injury? Okay, and that's something that you need to think about. Okay, gym machines versus free weights. That's what we're talking about for the new people that are coming on. Okay, so we have imbalances. It's not going to fix it. Okay, yes, it's isolating your muscles. If it's a chest day, if it's an ab day, if it's a leg day, you're isolating your muscles. However, is it going to fix your imbalances? No, it's not. Okay? Here's another one. You're going to be limited on the amount of calories you're burning. So if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to tone up, if you're trying to lose weight or tone up, lose your fat, lose your tummy, lose the fupa, lose your chichos, lose the back rolls. Okay? If you're trying to burn fat, if you think about it, you're only isolating your muscles if you're using a machine compared to free weight. So if you're using a machine, you're only working on one muscle group 9 times out of 10 primarily. So you're going to be limited on burning the most amount of calories that you can comparing to free weights. So if it's a leg day and you want to do leg extensions, you know, where you sit down and you just extend your legs just like this. You guys see me on YouTube, Zoom, Instagram, TikTok. If you're doing this with your legs, you're only going to be burning 50 calories after 3 sets. But if you're doing squats with a barbell, with a dumbbell, you're using more muscles throughout the motion, throughout the sets, throughout the reps. So that means you're burning more calories. If you're burning more calories, you're burning more fat. If you're burning more fat, you're happy. Very simple, guys. So yes, you're at the gym. Yes, you took that first initial step in 2025. Yes, you guys are amazing on here, on Instagram. What's up, Christy? On Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube Live. You took that first step, but just be educated, okay? So those are the pros and cons of gym machines. Just an easy recap. Gym machines are easy to use. They're beginner friendly. They're very good to support and stabilize your body. So if you're coming from an injury or if you're trying to reduce the risk of injury, you're cutting it by 50%. You're isolating most specific muscle groups. So if you really just want to focus on your chest or your back, that's great. You can build the muscle. Okay? There are clear guidelines for beginners. So there's a little picture with how to do things, how not to do things is going to be there on the gym machines. Okay? So it like the risk of doing it wrong is very, very low. Can you still do it wrong? Absolutely. There's some idiots out there. Okay? Just make sure you're using common sense and reading the guidelines. Okay? The cons of gym machines are you're limited on specific movements. So if you're trying to improve your mom or your dad's every actions of daily living, if they're constantly picking up their grandkids, if they're constantly carrying things up the stairs, groceries, putting groceries in the fridge, putting groceries in the shelf, putting heavy plates in and out of the shelves, that's not going to help you with machines. You're going to have to do free weights, to be honest. Okay? It's less functional, so it can lead to imbalances in your muscles. So, like I said, if your right arm is stronger than the left, if your right leg is stronger than the left, and you're doing just one motion of pushing or pulling with your upper body or legs, you're not going to fix the imbalance. So you're screwed, basically. Okay? And machines don't burn as many calories as free weights. All right, now we're getting into the free weights. We get into the juicy stuff. Now we're getting into the juicy stuff. Any questions on machines? TikTok, any questions on machines? Instagram, any questions on machines? Zoom, any questions on machines? YouTube, any questions on machines? Cool, no problem. All right. I did have a question by one of my clients. Have you guys ever been on a machine at the gym? Have you guys ever been on a machine at the gym and you're lifting like 100 pounds and you're stupid strong? You're like, wow, I'm so strong. But then you go to another machine doing the same thing, same machine, same exercise, but maybe a different brand of a machine. And you can't even lift 100 pounds. You have to adjust it to 20, but you're doing the same movement. You don't know what's going on. Anyone has ever gone through that? I know I have. As a trainer, I know I have. I know I have as a trainer. I'll be on a chest press machine using both arms, and I'm like, wow, I'm pushing 100 pounds. I'm so strong. I'm like Superman. And then I go to another gym, and I'm doing the same machine, but I have to adjust it to like 50, and I feel like a bitch. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Right? Guys, normally that's because of the brand of the machine. So some machines make their resistance a little different from others. So if there's certain machines where you can adjust the resistance and where you will feel it the most. Yes, you are picking up 50 pounds or 100 pounds, but you will feel the highest resistance either in the liftoff, in the beginning of the motion, at the end of the motion, or midway through the motion. That's why some machines feel different than others, even though you are doing the same movement. That is the reason why. Okay, YouTube? That is the reason why. So that was just to address one of the questions I have had for one of my clients. Now, the pros and the cons of free weights. Pros and cons of free weights. Here we go. Free weights, it allows for full of range of motion. It allows full range of motion. So for example, you are not stuck doing one fixed range of motion. Machines have you on a fixed range of motion. You can only do this, that's it. You can only do this, that's it. But in a free weight motion, you have full range of motion. What does that mean, Brian? That means that those stability muscles, those are actually working. You actually have to stabilize the free weights, whether it's a bar or a free weight. Those small little muscles in your wrists, those small little muscles in your shoulders, those small little muscles in your calves, in your legs, those are all being stimulated because the weights could go to the right, to the left, up or down. Three-dimensional. Okay, so if those little muscles are being activated, what does that mean? Comparing to what I said in the first few minutes. They burn more calories. If you burn more calories, what? You end up burning more fat. And if you're burning up more fat, you are happy. What's going on, bro? SNDLP. Drop your Q&A, bro. Yorillo. What's going on? Thanks for joining. TikTok's lit. YouTube's lit. So we're talking about free weights versus machines. The pros and cons. We already covered gym equipment in terms of machines. Now we're covering free weights. Okay, so free weights, the pros, full range of motion. Free weights are more functional. It replicates everyday movements. So if you want to do lunges, if you want to do squats are every day. You sit down. I'm squatting right now. I'm sitting down. When I get up from this chair, I am squatting up. That's every day. That's actions of everyday living. If I do this consistently with weight in the front of my back, that means I am functionally training. Functional means that I am improving my functional movements. That's what it means. And it improves my balance and my coordination. Why? Why my balance? Because it works on those stabilizer muscles that I mentioned. And if you work on those stabilizer muscles plus the primary muscles, you burn more calories. You burn more calories, you burn more fat. You burn more fat, you're happy. You end up toned. That's what everybody wants. Everybody wants that. If you want to build muscle, you want to tone, right? You want to build muscle and gain fat. We don't want that. However, there are cons. there are cons for free weights. Okay, just to repeat for the newcomers on Zoom, for the newcomers on YouTube, for the newcomers on TikTok. For the newcomers on TikTok, free weights allow you for range of motion. They engage multiple muscle groups. And if they do that, they burn more calories. You work on your stabilizer, so it improves your balance and your coordination. And it also replicates actions of daily living. Brian, what are actions of daily living? I'm sitting down, you're sitting down. You're standing up. Everybody's standing up or sitting down. If I sit down and stand back up, what is that? That's a squat. If you add resistance to that, goblet squats, weight in front of your chest, weight on your back, that means you're improving your functional days of functional movements. And if you do that, you're incorporating actions of daily living. Okay, but there are cons for free weights. There are cons for free weights. Cons for free weights require proper form to avoid injury. Basically, if you don't have a trainer, whether in person or online, you're fucked. To be honest, it is what it is. If you don't have go-to video instructions on how to do things, you are screwed. I'm sure you've seen those like hard videos on Instagram or TikTok on like people making fun of other people. They don't have videos, they don't have trainers, they don't have any education on how to do things. Okay, if you don't know how to do things, YouTube them. Worst case scenario. Okay? A better option is to get a trainer. Get an in-person trainer or get an online coach. Okay? Requires proper form to avoid injury. Okay? Another con is it may be challenging for beginners. Someone new to the gym. You have no idea what to do when you have free weights. I'm sure my clients, Donnie, who's on Instagram, Lisa, who's on Zoom, my clients, Natalia, who's on Zoom, Shirley, who's on Zoom, who else? Mike, who's on TikTok, YouTube, Patel. In free weights, if you don't know how to do things, it may be challenging or intimidating even. It might be mentally intimidating for someone who is new to the gym. I remember when I joined the gym 13 years ago, and I didn't know what to do. The first thing I did was play with machines. Did I do them wrong? Yes. Did I blow out my back after 3 years? Yeah. Was my right leg completely numb and I needed herniation and I needed physical therapy for my lower back? Yeah, it happens. It is what it is. And I'm a trainer now 13 years later. I'm trying to help you guys not do the same mistakes that I did. All right? So it may be challenging or mentally difficult for beginners. Okay? You have no support, no guides like machines. If you go on a machine, you have instruction manual there. It's like, don't do this, do this. And then you have the little black and white picture of like the red highlighted muscle. I know where you guys, I know you know what I'm talking about. The red highlighted muscle there, and you're like, oh, the red highlighted muscle I'm primarily working on. That's great, right? You don't have that with free weights. Free weights, you're there. It is what it is. You're on your own. Okay? Another con for free weights is that you require more space to set things up. You require more space to set things up. Okay, so if you're in a yoga room or if you're in your apartment, you're at home, or you are at the gym at the bench, you need your own little private space to do things. Okay, you are not at a machine where, you have a chair there, you're lazy and you're doing one motion. Okay, or you're there, you're a beginner. And again, a lazy beginner doesn't coincide. You're either lazy or you're a beginner. Okay, if you've been going to the gym for more than 2-3 years and you still play with machines, not good. Graduate to free weights. Machines here and there are okay, but free weights should be primary. That should be your primary thing. Free weights should be primary. Okay? But it takes time to set up. If you don't know what you're doing and you're just copying a picture on Instagram, or you're copying something on TikTok, you're screwed. Why are you doing that? Get a trainer. Get a trainer or go on YouTube. There's YouTube University, guys. Okay? I got a question here from Mike. Brian, do you recommend wearing a weighted vest? If you're experienced, a weighted vest can be beneficial. I have a weighted vest. And I remember I used to use that for my fight camp when I was fighting. When I had to get fit and lose weight. Since I'm advanced, I can do that. Since I'm advanced, I can do that. Okay? But yeah, man. If you're advanced, do that. Weighted vest, go for it. Mike, you're pretty advanced, so go for it. Go for it. I wouldn't go too heavy, maybe 5-10 pounds. If you're like at 20 pounds or 30 pounds, that's way too much. You don't want to overdo it. Why? Because if you end up doing burpees, push-ups, squats, you need your body to adapt to that weight. You're not accustomed to that weight, to that vest. Okay, I would maybe start off with maybe going on a cardio machine, maybe on a treadmill, having the vest, inclining to like 15, maybe walking 2.5 miles per hour, a nice brisk walk. Start with that. And I'm telling you, you're going to be drenched. And then eventually maybe, do your push-ups, do your squats here and there. You can even, where applicable, do some free weights with the vest and some weight. If you're that advanced, I haven't seen you in a while, I haven't trained you in a while, bro. So, due diligence, do what you can. But maybe a great stepping stone is if you do it, order it. It's only like 50 or 100 bucks on Amazon. Use it on the cardio machine. It's great. Okay? Evelyn, what's going on? Yeah, Mike, no problem, bro. You're welcome. YouTube is busy. Hey, I agree. Hey, man, how are you? I'm doing good, bro. Zayn, I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. TikTok, what's going on? All right, so I'm going to give you guys a recap. I am starving. I've been here for a half hour already. Lisa says, shit, I still ran out the first day. Lisa, you funny. Lisa's my girl. Lisa's one of those girls, first 4 weeks she dropped like, what was it, Lisa? Like 7 pounds, 6 pounds? God damn. Have you guys lost 6 pounds in the first few weeks? Zaid says, do you remember me commenting on your video about a thumbnail? I remember that, bro, but I'm working right now, man. I can't entertain that right now. All right, if you have a fitness question, ask me. If not, DM me again, bro. I'm busy. I'm busy changing lives, building booties. Kiki, what's going on, girl? Give me those Q&As. You always have those good questions. You always have those good questions on Instagram. Give me those good questions so we can educate more people. I always give you those sauce on the secret DMs. Okay, the topic today is gym machines versus free weights. I'm gonna go down the list. Pros for gym machines is easy to use, beginner friendly, provide support and stability. They isolate muscle groups. They have clear guidelines on form and range of motion, and you can adjust it very easily. You don't have to go to the squat machine. You don't have to go to the dumbbell rack and replace them. If you're a little lazy, you don't want to burn too many calories, you're right there. All you have to do is change the pins. The cons for gym machines: limited on specific movements. They're one-dimensional. They're less functional. So if you're a little older, if you're over 30 or 40 or 50 and you have those injuries, you have kids, you have to do a lot of groceries, you put it up the shelf, you pick up your grandchild or your kids left and right. That's not functional. That is not functional. Machines are more one-dimensional. Okay? You do not work on stabilizing muscles. If you don't work on that, you only work on 1 or 2 muscle groups if you're doing the machines. So you are limited on burning your calories. If you are limited on burning your calories, you are limited on losing fat. If you're limited on losing fat, you're limited on toning. If you're limited on that, you're not going to be happy. Because regardless of whether you are trying to lose fat or build muscle, nobody wants to gain fat. You want to tone, you want to lose fat, right? Tone is losing fat. Okay? Cons of machines. Okay? If you have any imbalances in your body, you're not going to fix them. If your right leg or right arm is stronger than the other, you're not going to fix them. Okay? You are limiting the stabilizing muscles. I mentioned that. Okay? It can be intimidating due to their size or their complexity, but they're great for beginners. All right? Pros and cons for free weights. Free weights, they allow for full range of motion. Okay? So you can go three-dimensional. Sems, what's going on, girl? Sems is another superstar client. She just dropped 10 pounds in 8 weeks. Within 8 weeks, less than 8 weeks actually. Sems, you my girl. By the way, I just answered your question, Sems, but ask it again so I could answer, so I could help all these people again live. How long, Christy says, how long would it take to start seeing results? That's a great question. That's a very common question for someone someone who's just starting on their fitness journey. Depends. What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish, Christy? So I could directly give you a direct answer, a personalized answer. Okay, I always like to say, I always tell my clients for the past 13 years, the first form of results that you're going to see is strength. Whether you're trying to lose weight or build muscle, the first form of results that you're going to see is strength. And strength usually comes in the first 3 weeks. The first 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to start realizing that 40 pounds is going to be easy, whether you're squatting, whether you're pushing, whether you're curling, whatever the case may be. And you're going to start being like, oh, okay, let me increase it to 45 pounds or 50 pounds. And then by the 5th or 6th week, you're going to start seeing the actual physical aesthetic results. You're going to pass by the mirror and you're going to be like, damn, girl, you got that booty. Or if you're a guy, you're swinging by, you're shirtless, you're like, damn, I finally see my abs coming in. That's usually around the 6 to 7 week mark, the 5 to 7 week mark. You're going to start seeing the aesthetic results. Yes, it sucks, but that's what it is. That's how it is, guys. Okay, Chrissy, I hope I answered your question, but if you want something a little bit more specific to you and catered to your specific situation, let me know. Let me know what your goals are. Okay, and I could tell you this live. All right, we're live on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Zoom for my clients. My girl Sam says, why does 40 pounds on one machine feel different on another machine? That's a phenomenal question. I just answered it about 20 minutes ago, but I'm going to direct it again because I just asked her to. The reason why is because different brands of machines want the resistance to be felt in the beginning of the motion of the rep or at the end of the motion of the rep. To go into more detail, usually on a full range of motion of, let's say, tricep extensions, okay? Once you unrack the weight, most machines would want people to feel the resistance in the beginning of the rate, the beginning of the rep. In the first 20% of the range of motion, right when you unrack the weight, that's when you're gonna start seeing feeling the resistance. So most machines are like that. So that's why when you unrack the weight, you're like, oh shit, this is pretty heavy. Let me decrease it to 20 pounds if we're talking about 40 pounds. Some machines are different. Some machines want people to feel the resistance towards the end of the rep. Towards the end of the rep means towards the end of the rep, all the way down, maybe on the last 70 or 80 or 90% of the range of motion, down here instead of up here if you're doing tricep extensions, right? So if you're down here, everything's easy, harder, and then this is the hardest right here, the hardest part, pause, it looks really bad, it looks too sexual on YouTube, but it's better here. If you're down here, okay, if you're down here on the last 80 or 90% of the range of motion, That's the hardest part. Pause. No diddy. That's the hardest part of the machine or the movement. So most machines want you to feel it on the last part of the resistance of the range of motion of the rep. So that means that you're going to want to feel like you can do a little bit more weight. So instead of 40 pounds, you probably increase it to 50 or 60 pounds. And then you'll end up feeling a little bit more towards the end. Okay, and that's why it's probably easier in the beginning. So depending on the brands, you'll feel the resistance in the beginning of the rep, towards the end of the rep, or even in the middle. I'm sure there's some machines, Sims, there's some machines in our gym where you can actually adjust where you will feel the resistance. Towards the beginning, towards the end, or towards the middle. Usually on the machines, on the fancy machines, it will be on the number 1 setting, on the number 2 setting, on the number 3 setting. Okay? So that's just to answer your question. Alright? What's going on, guys? Zahid, what's going on? TikTok lit. I love it. Cons for free weights. It requires proper form to avoid injury. So if you're not utilizing YouTube University, if you don't have a personal trainer, if you don't have an online coach, Sems, no problem. If you don't have an online coach, you are going to the war at the gym, because the gym is a war. It's a war zone. You're going to the war blind. You're going to the war blind. You want some sort of context. Okay? Another con is that it may be challenging for beginners. It may be challenging for beginners. If you're a beginner, if you're a newbie, if you're a gym newbie, it's 2025, and you finally take the first step to change your life, build muscle, lose fat, tone, build a booty for your hubby. Okay? It might be intimidating to play with free weights. So that's a con. Okay? And it requires more space to set up. It requires more space to set up. So if you're at home, if you're in your little corner at the gym, or if you're in the yoga room at the gym, you need, your little block, you need your stepper, you need your mat, you need the weights. It takes a lot of space. All right? So gym machines versus free weights. I have a Q&A here on YouTube. They're asking, which one do you prefer? That's a great question. Most of the time, I use free weights. Most of the time, I use free weights. Why? Because I work out every single day. So if I work out every single day, and I don't have too much time at the gym, I'm only working out for 45 minutes or an hour tops, I still need to warm up. That takes 10 minutes. I still need to stretch. That takes 15 minutes at the end. So I'm usually only working out for 45 minutes, 30 minutes. So that means I need to burn as many calories as possible so that I could build muscle, lose fat, and tone at the same time. Yes, you can lose fat and build muscle at the same time. It's hard, but you can do it. So that's my way of doing it. Everybody's different though. Some people, they have all the time in the world to be at the gym. They can work out at the gym for 2 hours. I can't. My girl Sam says she's asking, who is creatine for? Creatine is for everybody. There's a common misconception. That's a great question, Sam. I love that. There's a common misconception for creatine where they think creatine is for only men. Is for women as well. There's also a misconception where they say that creatine is like steroids, or creatine is not natural. Guys, newsflash. Juan, what's going on, bro? Yo, what's going on, bro? Newsflash, guys. Newsflash is that creatine is located in red meat. If you eat steak, there's creatine there. There's creatine in animal products. If you have eggs, if you have chicken, if you have red meat, there's creatine there. Creatine is not unnatural. It's actually natural. It's for men and women. A nice dosage for creatine, if you're gonna take the supplement, a nice dose is about 5 grams to 10 grams. 5 grams to 10 grams. Do you need to cycle onto creatine? No, you do not. No, you do not. You could take it long term, and by cycling means do you have to like go on creatine for a month or 2 months and increase the dosage little by little? No, you do not need to do that. Just hop on it. Okay? You do have to drink water. Creatine helps you make the muscle just look a little bit more fuller. So if you're one of my ladies trying to build a booty and have BBL allegations, all right, creatine could be great. If you're one of my guys and trying to build some good guns, right, like me, you can take creatine and you'll have fuller arms or fuller chest or fuller booty. Creatine is for everyone. It's not solely for athletes. They're for the general public as well. They're not solely for men or women. They're not solely for men and women. They're for anyone. And there's actual research now that shows recently that if you're on creatine, it actually increases brain function. That's real research. So if you're a little older, if you're over 40, 50, 60, I have my grandmother who is fucking 95 years old. She is 95 years old. She's on creatine. It actually increases brain function. There's actual research that shows that. There's actual research that shows that. Any other questions? That's a great question, Sems. Who is creatine for? Chrissy asks, recommend for someone that has never been to the gym, free weights or machines? That's a great question. So, if you are a newbie, if you're a beginner at the gym, the best thing to do is start with a machine. Start with machines. I know we did cover pros and cons for machines, but start with machines. Why? Because you at least have instructions there. You at least have instructions on the machine to tell you what you can and can't do, and it usually highlights what muscle groups you're working on. The percentage of doing the machine wrong is much lower. Can you still get injured? Yes, but the machine chance to get injured is much lower. Okay, that's a great question. So I would say start with free weights. Start with machines rather. Get a trainer. A trainer is the best investment that you can do. What's up, Crystal? Crystal's a TikTok famous girl. She's TikTok famous. I'm actually blessed that she's on. That's crazy. I would recommend get a trainer because a trainer will teach you how to do things correctly with free weights, and then you could graduate from that trainer and do things on your own because you already build the habits on what to do and what not to do. Okay, and then you could just carry it on your own. Like my girl Crystal. I taught her how to do machines, I taught her how to do free weights, and now she's a gym gal. Okay? YouTube has a question for me. What machine should I not use? That's a great fucking question. What machine should you not use? That's preference. The machines that I hate is most likely, that's a good question. I don't like doing preacher curls for biceps. I don't want to scare you, YouTube, whoever asked that, but that's how I tore my labrum. That's how I tore my shoulder. Why? Because if you go a little too heavy, let me do this motion for you. If you go a little too heavy, and the preacher curl machine is when like you have the padding on your elbows and you're doing this motion right here. If you're doing the preacher curl motion, if you go a little too heavy, you are going to have a tendency to kind of jerk your shoulders up. Okay, and if you jerk your shoulders up, this can pop, and this is where your labrum is. If you don't know where your labrum is, the humerus of your arm is attached to a ball and socket joint. It is attached to a ball and socket joint. And surrounded to that ball and socket joint are like lips. And that is your labrum. I've torn my labrum. And I needed surgery. Rehab was a bitch. I hated it. Okay? But if that suction, those lips are detached, your humerus is like hanging off of your shoulder joint. That's something you do not want. Okay? So that being said, that's something I do not like just because it forces you end up ego lifting. Okay? As a guy. I've been there. Okay? And just because that's a great question, I'm going to tell you what free weight exercise I do not like to do, and I'm not a huge fan of. This is going to blow your mind. You ready? Are you ready? Dumbbell flies. That's something that you do not want to do ever. Ever. You do not want to do dumbbell flies ever. Never fucking do dumbbell flies. Fellas, never do dumbbell flies. Never do dumbbell flies. Flat bench dumbbell flies or incline dumbbell flies. Never do dumbbell flies. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. If you do dumbbell flies, think about it. Okay, pretend I am lying down. There's gravity, right? There's gravity behind me, and I have dumbbells of like 50 pounds, right? Because I'm strong. And I am going all the way back. If you realize gravity is at its highest here, and I'm doing dumbbell flies, even correctly, elbows and hands are shoulder level, elbows are slightly bent, elbows are facing behind me, there's going to be the highest resistance here because of gravity in the bottom. But as I go in towards my chest, towards the end of the dumbbell fly, as I go in, there's going to be less and less resistance. Why? There's going to be less and less the resistance. Why? Because you can lock your elbows and you are not having any resistance on your chest when you're here. The highest resistance for dumbbell flies is here. Why? Because it's stretching the chest. If you're here, you're not doing much. Okay? However, if you're doing it with cables, if you're doing cable flies, that's something completely different. And that is something I really, really like because the resistance is going to be constant. Once you unrack the weight with the cables, the whole range of motion is 50 pounds. If you grab 50-pound dumbbells for dumbbell flies, chest flies, the 50 pounds is going to feel like 50 pounds down here, and then it's going to be less and less resistance. It's going to be like 40, it's going to feel like 30, it's going to be like 20, and you can hold weight. Okay? The people that are questioning me right now, because I know there's going to be people questioning, oh, but Brian, you could definitely build, Arnold Schwarzenegger does dumbbell flies. Brother, if you can't chest press 100 pounds, okay, but I pass you 100-pound dumbbells, when your arms are like this, you're going to be able to hold it for at least 10 seconds, or at least 5 seconds. You're going to be able, I could put a girl on a chest machine, on a chest bench, and she's lying down, and her arms are fully extended. If I give her a 100-pound dumbbell, she'll be able to hold it at least for a few seconds. That proves my point that at the end of the dumbbell curl, the dumbbell flies rather, you are losing time there. And there's no resistance here, so there's no point of doing dumbbell flies. All right, there's another question on YouTube. Guys, I'm starving. I gotta head out. One last question. What workout is best to make my arms bigger? That is a phenomenal question. Let me just triple check if anyone else has any questions here. For biggest arms, you ready? All right, you ready? So for bigger arms, the best exercise for bigger arms is supersets for cables. Do cables and do supersets. I have 17 and a half inch arms or 18 inch arms. I have 18-inch biceps, bro. Ask me if I ever do arm days. I do not do any arm days. I do not do any arm days. I do just supersets. To finish off my workout for the last like 3 minutes, I do heavy, I do medium, and I do light, no break in between, and it's just a drop set. So I'll do 15 reps, drop the weight. 12 reps, drop the weight. 10 reps, drop the weight. 10 reps, drop the weight. Drop it till failure. Boom. I'll do 6 sets just like that. Boom, 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 boom. 2 minutes, boom, I'm done. I'm gone. Okay, so that's how you get bigger arms. That's how you get 18-inch arms like mine. Okay? Any questions on TikTok? Sure. Okay, Shirley asks, which creatine brand do you recommend? Ooh, that's a good question. That is a good question. You know what I'll do? I am going to fuck. What is fuck. A good brand off the top of my head would be Muscle Farm. Muscle Farm is a good brand. Okay, matter of fact, I'm gonna bring my creatine here. Boom. This is the brand. I am not sponsored by them. It's cheap and it's to the point. It's cheap and it's to the point. NutriCost. NutriCost. I have NutriCost everything. Okay? It's cheap and it's to the point. And guys, creatine, like I mentioned before, creatine is safe for men and women. I have my 95-year-old grandmother on creatine because there's new research that shows that it increases and it improves brain function. New research shows that creatine improves brain function. Creatine is safe for men and women of all ages. Do you need to cycle on and cycle off it? No. Do you need to take a break from it? No. Okay? But NutriCost, I have NutriCost everything. Okay? I needed to show you this because it's cheap. Creatine monohydrate. This is some extra sauce before I go. Creatine monohydrate is the cheapest thing a company can produce. Creatine monohydrate is the cheapest supplement a company can produce. So if you are shopping for creatine right now at this moment because you're in this live, because you're in 2025 and you're ready for a change, you do not need to spend more than $40 or $50 on fucking creatine. Creatine is so cheap to produce. This was $20. And it'll last you more than a month. Okay? The serving size is 1 scoop is 5 grams. Like I mentioned, the recommended dosage that I recommend is 5 grams to 10 grams. 5 grams to 10 grams. 5 grams to 10 grams. You do not need to cycle on and cycle off of it. Okay? And the servings per container for NutriCost is 100. Guys, there's 100 servings in here, and it's $20, and it works. Creatine monohydrate is the cheapest thing a company can produce. So do not spend $50. Do not spend. If Khloe Kardashian drops a creatine brand, if The Rock, Dwayne Johnson drops a creatine brand, if Arnold Schwarzenegger drops a creatine brand, you should not be buying it for $40, $50, $60, $70. $20. It's so cheap, I'm telling you. Hell, if I opened up my own supplement brand, I would drop it for fucking $20. I would not want to see any profit margins. Okay? So, that's some sauce, guys. NutriCost. That is it. Shit, this was a long ass 55 minutes. Guys, I hope this helped you guys out. the whole theme of this Zoom. And yes, I recorded it. Yes, I will post it. I will post it on Instagram as well and on my community chat. The whole goal was to compare gym machines versus free weights. Okay, and we also spoke about creatine, supplements, what are the best exercises, what are my personal favorite do's and don'ts for free weights and machines. I love you all. I'm starving. I'm gonna hop off. Okay, let's stop. YouTube. Boom. TikTok. I love y'all.